All right, let's get right into it. What if I told you that an ancient herb, one that's been used for literally thousands of years, could be the missing link in your modern training program? Today, we're doing a deep dive into the science behind ashwagandha, and we're going to find out if it really is a game changer for your muscle, your strength, and your performance goals.
So that's the big question on the table, right? Can a traditional remedy, something from ancient medicine, actually stand up to the demands of modern evidence-based training? Can it really help you pack on more muscle and get stronger? Well, let's dig into the science and find out.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the history, the legend of ashwagandha. Then we'll get into its core mechanism, how it goes to war with the stress hormone cortisol. After that, we'll look at the real-world results, lay out the exact protocol to use it effectively, and finish up with some critical safety warnings you absolutely cannot afford to miss.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about where this stuff even comes from. See, this isn't some new age fad cooked up in a lab. Its roots in medicine run incredibly deep, and that's exactly why it's getting so much serious scientific attention today. You know, we're talking about a history that goes back over 3,000 years as a cornerstone of Ayurvedic medicine. And its name in Sanskrit is pretty fascinating. It translates to the smell of the horse. Now, it's not about the actual scent. It was a metaphor for its ability to give you the strength and the vitality of a stallion. It was classified as a rasayana, a special herb for total body rejuvenation. And now, modern science is putting that ancient reputation to the test in the gym and in the lab. So how does it actually work? Well, ashwagandha is what's known as an adaptogen. Now, the best way to think of an adaptogen is like a smart thermostat for your body. It helps your system adapt and build resistance to all kinds of stress. We're talking the physical stress from a brutal workout, the mental stress from life, you name it. Its whole job is to bring your body back into balance, and that right there is the key to its power. And that brings us to the core mechanism. You see, to really understand how ashwagandha can help build muscle, you first have to understand the hormone that destroys it, cortisol. For anyone who's serious about their gains, cortisol is public enemy number one. Okay, so cortisol is our main stress hormone. When we're pushing our bodies to the absolute limit in the gym or just dealing with everyday pressure, our body pumps the stuff out. And here's the problem. Cortisol is catabolic. That's just a scientific way of saying it breaks things down. Chronically high levels will actively sabotage your goals by eating away at your muscle tissue, telling your body to store more fat, and just crushing your ability to recover. It's a certified gain killer. So think of it like this. There is a constant hormonal battle going on inside your body. On one side, you have cortisol, the gain killer. It's catabolic. It breaks down muscle and it actively suppresses testosterone. And on the other side, you've got testosterone, the anabolic driver. It builds that muscle back up. It's simple, really. You just can't grow when the hormone that breaks you down is winning against the hormone that builds you up. It's a physiological tug of war, and your progress is on the line. And this is where ashwagandha enters the ring. Peer-reviewed studies have shown that taking it can slash your cortisol levels, in some cases by a staggering 27%. Now that's not a tiny little tweak. That's a massive intervention that directly fights that catabolic environment that's been holding you back. And here's the best part. As those cortisol levels come down, what do you think happens to testosterone? It finally gets a chance to climb. The same research shows a direct link between ashwagandha and an increase in total testosterone levels of up to 17% in men. So you're not just getting rid of a negative, you're creating the perfect environment for a positive to flourish. It's working on both sides of the muscle building equation. Okay, so we get the hormonal shift. That's powerful stuff. But let's look at what that actually means for you in the gym. This isn't just theory. We've got hard data from clinical trials on strength, size, and even endurance. Check this out. In an 8-week study, guys who were resistance training and taking ashwagandha increased their 1-rep max on the bench press by an average of 46 kilos. The placebo group, they only went up by 26.4. That's not just a small edge. That's nearly double the strength gains. That's the kind of result you can actually feel under the bar. And it wasn't just the bench press. The same study saw huge increases in leg press strength too. And for a lot of us, this is just as important. The ashwagandha group also saw much bigger increases in actual muscle size. We're talking real hypertrophy, measured in the circumference of their arms, chest, and thighs compared to the placebo group. But listen, the benefits aren't just about lifting heavier. The research also points to some serious improvements in cardiorespiratory fitness. And that's key for your recovery between sets and your overall work capacity in the gym.
Now, this number comes from a meta-analysis, which is basically a study of a bunch of other studies, so it's really reliable. It showed that ashwagandha led to a significant increase in VO2 max. That's a key measure of how efficiently your body uses oxygen, by an average of 4.09 ml per minute per kilogram. A higher VO2 max means you can train harder for longer. Plain and simple.
So to wrap this section up, the science is pointing to a true all-in-one performance enhancer. We're not talking about just one little benefit here. We're seeing more strength, more muscle growth, better endurance, and even less muscle damage from workouts, which all points to the holy grail for any athlete: better, faster recovery.
All right, we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get practical and talk about the how. Because if you're thinking about trying ashwagandha, it's absolutely critical that you follow a protocol that actually matches what was used in the studies that got these results.
Okay, the science points to a very clear protocol. Let's break it down. 1. Dosage. The sweet spot is between 300 and 600 milligrams per day. 2, and this is crucial, the form. You have to look for a standardized root extract that contains at least 5% withanolanides. Those are the active compounds doing the heavy lifting. 3, timing. Splitting the dose seems to work best, so maybe 300 milligrams in the morning and 300 in the evening. And 4, duration. The real benefits kick in when you cycle it for about 8 to 12 weeks.
Now, this is so important. You have to manage your expectations. Ashwagandha is not a pre-workout. You're not going to feel it kick in after 30 minutes. It's an adaptogen, which means it works slowly by helping your body find its balance again. That takes patience and it takes consistency. You need to give it several weeks, maybe even a couple of months, for those effects to really build up and show in your training.
We've spent a lot of time on the benefits, but I'm telling you, this next section is the most important part of this entire explainer. We have to talk about safety, potential drug interactions, and who should absolutely not take this supplement. And I'm serious. Pay very close attention here. While ashwagandha is generally safe for most healthy people, there are some very real, very serious risks if you fall into certain categories or you're taking specific medications. Do not skip this part. Okay, ashwagandha can interact with a lot of major drug classes because it can naturally lower blood sugar and blood pressure. Taking it with meds that already do that could cause a dangerous drop. It also has mild sedative effects, so mixing it with things like benzodiazepines or opioids is a bad idea. It can also mess with immunosuppressants, drugs that are hard on the liver, and especially thyroid medications. The bottom line here is non-negotiable. If you are on any prescription medication, you have to talk to your doctor first. Period. And there's a list of people who should just avoid it entirely. That includes pregnant or breastfeeding women because it can affect your hormones. It's a no-go for anyone with hormone-sensitive prostate cancer. If you have an autoimmune condition like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus, you should also avoid it. And finally, if you have liver problems, an allergy to nightshade plants like tomatoes, or you have a surgery coming up, you need to stay away from it.
So look, the question isn't really, does ashwagandha work? The science on that front is pretty compelling. The real question is for you. Could managing stress at the hormonal level be the key that unlocks your next level of progress? After weighing all the benefits against the critical risks and, of course, with guidance from your doctor, that decision is yours. Remember, science is always evolving. To make sure you don't miss our next scientific breakdown and protocol, be sure to turn on notifications and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. And let's meet in the comments. Let me know what topic you want me to break down next.